Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. I'm a mess. I haven't recorded in a long time. Goodness me. Welcome back to Vault Hunters. I figured I'd give you guys a progress update where me and Johnny have been for like the past several weeks. Because yeah, it has been a while since I was last on, or not last on the server. It has been a while since I last streamed. And as you can see, we got a couple more artifacts on the board. We're missing seven. Seven left. And if you're looking at my current vault level, I'm actually further ahead than I thought I was this morning. Yeah, halfway to 90, which is crazy. We've got three of these here. Might as well don all my equipment, all nice and fancy. So today, I figured I'd give you guys a bit of a progress update of what me and Johnny have actually been doing on the server and some of the shenanigans that we've had along the way. And we're going to start by showing you the interior of the Pantheon. This place has changed quite a lot, and I think it turned out really nice, especially the tree that me and Johnny argued about for a couple hours. Yeah, it was... Designing this was crazy. Let me show you what he designed. We both wanted like a centerpiece, a tree or something in the middle. This was the one I designed, and this was the one that Johnny designed. Johnny designed it for Christmas, and I don't think it turned out that well. I think it's the pink that's doing me in. It's such a contrast color, and it also like doesn't scream Christmas at all. Sorry, Johnny, it's just my honest opinions. So yeah, Johnny built this tree. I built this one. Johnny told me like, yeah, if you move it into there, like we can put this one here for the holiday season. Then we're gonna switch it back at the end. And I was like, that's fair enough. We also have our vault portal. Some of you guys who are around for the 1.16 update, that was like when this series first started. I built a vault portal in a fireplace, and yeah, me and Johnny created this design together. It turned out really nice. We've got Iskel here over the corner. He's chilling. It's nothing personal, Iskel. We got our bounty table. This is, for those of you who don't know, this is an angel block. It allows creative flight, so I'm able to fly around freely. And yeah, we've got... No, Johnny put the dragon egg here. I didn't even notice that. That's cool. So this is our vault portal. This is the interior. The ceiling's a little bit something to be desired, but it's a work in progress. We've got pretty much everything in here. We've got our villagers. I moved the mob farm in. I made trampoline, which is really nice. I did have a botany pot set up all the way over here, but it filled up my storage system. So I decided to rip it out. We've got all of our mobs here. This was a temporary setup. It was just so I could get some basic resources that I needed from this thing. So anyway, this is kind of my setup. I've got all my stuff here, nice and neat. We've got our black market, which I'm poor at the moment. I wouldn't buy that. Is there anything in here? Nothing in there. I did upgrade to the soul harvester. I'm not sure if I've shown that on camera or not. These are the current trinkets that we've accumulated. We've been running with trinkets now, thank goodness, finally. We've got some catalysts, we've got a whole bunch of augments, inscriptions. I'm still not running with the compass. I just thought it was funny. We got all sorts of tools, gadgets. These are all the tools. I think this was the tool I was using last time I was streaming, but now I've got this beast of a sickle. And it's not perfect, and I think there's like 50 capacity still left on it. Actually, there's a way to check. If I just put this in here. Yeah, I still got 56 capacity. Which I'm thinking I'm going to put more trap disarm on, because last time I ran a vault last night with this thing, I was hitting trap chests like every other chest it felt like. We got all the drawers moved over. They're all nice and neat. Johnny's got his setup over here. Might as well show this off. I hope he doesn't mind. Yeah. Johnny's got, I forget what this is called. altar conduit, I guess. Ooh, dust. No, I'm not taking that. So yeah, this is what we've been up to. I think Johnny is like 2, maybe 3 levels behind me, so we're both pretty decent when it comes to vault progression, and I'm very happy that we didn't lose it all to the update. So let me explain. Let me have a seat by the fire and let's talk. So, as some of you may know, Vault Hunters, I say recently, but they didn't recently updated to update 15. We updated the server. Update 15 added a couple new stuff. It added like the different vault rocks. It added, I think it added a few new trinkets, I don't remember. What else did it add? Where are they? I'm looking for the seals. They're in here somewhere. I mean, they added the cards. Here it is, the Seal of the Prophet. This update added bingo vaults, which bingo vaults are a lot of fun, just not in multiplayer. Because if you're... That's interesting. Huh. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit later. So yeah, bingos are great. For those of you who don't know how bingo work, you get a board. It's a 4x4. And it has a whole bunch of like different tasks and stuff that you have to complete. And then if you complete those tasks, then you get that box checked. And you get 4 in a row, you get a bingo. And that's how you complete the vault. The more bingos you complete, the better your completion rate. It's really cool. I like it. It doesn't work well in multiplayer though, because when me and Johnny were running... Yeah, when me and Johnny were running a vault, there's a task where you have to do certain things flawlessly. That means without taking damage. And if your other person is taking damage, it counts towards that as well, and it's annoying. I wish they would change it. But it is what it is. So anyway, Vault Hunters updated to 1.15. They added these things, decks, and cards. And they also added the bingo vaults. Bingos are fun if you're playing them in single player, in my opinion. But the biggest things are the deck. And some of you might know that throughout this whole series, me and Johnny have gone without these 2 slots. We've had no access to trinkets at all. And I was hoping with update 15 that we'd get access to the decks as well as the trinkets. Like this whole setup here would be like effectively reset, and it would go back to what it's supposed to be, because we didn't have these before. We have them now, but that was after a lot of headaches. Let me explain. So, in a nutshell, when we updated to 1.15, we didn't have access to the decks, and we didn't have access to the trinkets still. And I thought that updating would fix the problem, but it didn't, for whatever reason. The Kuros mod, I believe it's pronunciation, which enables all of these, we're missing some information in the configuration files on our server, which were vital in order for us to utilize the trinkets and also the deck. So I figured it was like, oh, okay, let me just reinstall the mod pack and hopefully that fix it. It didn't fix it. As a matter of fact, it completely reset the entire server, which means everything was lost. We lost our... Well, we didn't lose everything for long. It completely resetted all our world settings, all of our game settings. When I logged back into the server after resetting, I was very shocked to see that I was in a brand new world at level 0, which was not the most pleasant surprise in the world. But it is what it is. I reloaded the server using a backup, but that backup was from 2 weeks prior. from when we decided to update. That update, or that backup, was taken during the previous live stream, which I'm actually going to check. When was that? Now that I think about it. So, yeah, the last time we streamed was early August. And that's when the backup was from. So we had logged on, and me and Johnny had done some work on the interior of the Pantheon before updating, or before that whole reset. And so all that work that we did on the interior was lost, unfortunately. Like, we had constructed, like, these walls. We also had this platform, like, raised a little bit. We had plans for 2 stories, with the top floor being a giant aquarium. It was a really cool idea, but unfortunately it didn't come to pass because we lost all of that progress and hard work. I had to rebuild all these walls, both of them. These 2 walls over here were already there. For when I initially dug out this area. The space back here. All this, like, this space here, the mid space, and then on the other side, this zone here, this all used to be 1 room. Johnny suggested that we put up some walls, which we did, and I'm glad we did, because this is a nice cozy area, even if it's way too big for our needs. So yeah, so we lost a little bit of progress. We didn't lose much, but after that, after we reset the server and, like, we got everything, like, figured out and updated and stable, the server itself wasn't very stable. As a matter of fact, turns out throughout the entirety of this series, our server has been at its limit. Or not exactly at its limit, just scraping that upper edge of the limit when in terms of, like, memory and RAM and stuff. And update 15, for whatever reason, pushed it over that limit, and it wouldn't let us into the server, at least not for very long. So me and Johnny updated the server. We increased the payment, the subscription, and yeah, we're running on a much smoother server. Hopefully frames and stream should be better from here on out. But after that, I was having some major internet issues, which is why I didn't stream for so long. And the reason I haven't made this video since is mainly because, well, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've been quite busy doing all sorts of things. Anyway, with that aside, we updated to 1.15. Or not 1.15, update 15. And we're here. Bingos are fun. We've got the cards figured out. I had to reconfigure the configuration files for the Kyros mod manually in the server, which sounds complicated because it was. It wasn't that bad, though. It was just some copy pasting, and we were all good to go. Yeah, that was a huge pain in the neck. That was a huge headache. I'm glad that was over with. So yeah, that's, in a nutshell, that's why I haven't been streaming or anything. It's because my internet was down, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's not all that has happened at the server. We've had a lot of fun building up this interior. It went through a couple of different designs. We eventually settled on this one because I was tired of it being empty. Me and Johnny worked on this fireplace together. He actually suggested these side bits, which turned out really nice. I built up the chimney and the bulk of it. Johnny designed the log. We've got the portal in here. It turned out to be a nice build. I like it. And of course we got the VH, which if you look at it from a distance, you could totally tell it's a face. Like, no. It's funny. So yeah, we got a nice cozy space in here. We went with a library theme because it seemed fitting with the Pantheon above. Knowledge is power, after all. Yeah, the interior of this hasn't changed at all. Except for the artifacts, which have been doing very healthy on. We've been very healthy on the artifacts. And I just had someone walk into my room. What do you want? They just came over here and sniffed my shoulder. That was Jeffrey, by the way. That's staying in the video.
Okay.
Just want you to know that. Yeah, I'm not editing this video. I don't feel like it. So yeah, the Pantheon itself hasn't changed much. I think we did, if I'm hoping it's still here. Yeah, we did. We left him up here. We were toying around with the idea of like living up here, which I feel like would have been cool. Maybe I'll build something up here secretly and then surprise Johnny with it later. But for now, I'm happy down here. It's nice. It's a nice space. Oh. That reminds me. Something else that has happened since me and Johnny started. So, in the black market, it is possible for an artifact to appear. It's very rare, but it's possible. And it just so happened that one particular day, one showed up. I forget which slot it was in, but it was available. So I went through all of my stuff. I emptied a lot of these drawers and threw all the stuff into the diffuser, which works by just taking items from this chest and it fills all. I'm actually going to demo this because it's pretty cool how this thing works. Let's see. What do I not need any of? I don't need any of you. Yeah, we'll just dump a bunch of nonsense in here. So basically, it's just like the soul diffuser, but it's way more efficient. You notice it stores the items here. And you would think, or at least that's what I thought, that if you were to break this block, those items would stay there. That would be a wrong assumption. Because everything just pops out. Now imagine... Now what I just did was like fairly simple. It was only 700 items. But imagine what would happen if you had 50,000 items in this thing, and for some unknown reason, or at least I can't remember why, you decided to break it. I just want to shout out Bisect Hosting, because somehow this did not crash the server, spawning 50k items onto the ground. Needless to say, there was a little bit of lag. And of course, Johnny was just minding his own business. He was over there, and for whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea. Just bloop. I broke the wall. So yeah, that was the great the soul explosion of 2024. I had 50k items in this thing, and it just exploded. The frame rates, my frame rates were down to like 3 a second or less. I think I got down to 0 frames a few times. But yeah, I had Johnny slowly made his way over. And I told him, like, whatever you can pick up, you can keep. So I made it up to him. I did buy the artifact. And it turned out to be a duplicate, so it wasn't even worth it. So yeah, just if you're using a soul diffuser, don't break it, because it will crash your computer, probably. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's kind of the shenanigans I've been up to. We've been running vaults mostly. We've been doing bounties. I've got this echoing sickle, which this costed so much echo. I think like the total was like 81 or so, or not 81. I forget how much echo it cost, but I'm basically out of echo because I've been pouring all of it into this tool because my scythe completely broke, and for a while I've been using this thing, which isn't bad. Actually, no, I was using this one, but it was very quickly running out of durability, as you can see in the top there. Fully repaired, and still a decent amount of durability, but on its last life. I needed to make either a new one of these or the next tool up, and I went on a crazy echo grind, and I got it. Actually, where is it? Yeah, these things are not cheap. Echoing ingots. These things. 8 echoes apiece, and I needed 9 of them. So that was a fun grind. I do think that it was worth it, though. This sickle has been really nice. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh yeah, I burned through all my sugar cane, so I needed to restock on the sugar cane. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You might have noticed earlier in the video. I've got Fireball now. And the reason I took Fireball is because Javelin just wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't enough. Later game in the vault, it's gotten so bad with the mobs. I've also spec'd into Lucky Hit, which has been an absolute blessing. Yeah. Just a brief overview of all the mods that we currently have. I need to get more mods unlocked, just for the sake of having them. But yeah. Anyway, Javelin wasn't doing it for me anymore. It was too weak. I wasn't scaling up my damage as much. So I decided to unlearn it and spec into... where is it? Not Fireball. Oh, it's over here. I spec'd it into Poison Nova, specifically. Because, like... okay, I don't have it crazy overpowered right now, but I did at the time. Poison Nova was absolutely huge. I was able to like one-shot pretty much anything except for tanks with a single click of the button, but it was bad for 2 reasons. 1, it's a close range ability, and 2, it takes time to actually drain the mob's health. So I was basically thrown into a crowd, threw down a poison potion, and I was still in the crowd and still had to deal with all the mobs taking damage. My armor was being shredded by using Poison Cloud. So I decided to go with what Johnny had been using, which was Fireball, which is a long-range projectile. It does a good enough damage. And it scales with ability power, which I have been heavily going into ability power, except for on my leggings, or on my leggings. You also notice I'm wearing all scrappy except for my boots. I haven't found a good set of boots for scrappy yet, and the reason I've done this is because I took full advantage of Purist, which this is a fun mechanic. If you want to like focus on like creatively building up your build using restrictions that Scrappy Armor has. This was fun to put together, these 3 pieces. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with the sword and wand. I wish it did, but no, it's only armor. It's still a pretty good attack bonus, though, and it works really well. I really like the extra damage that it does. It's a fun mechanic. I love it. I think it's one of the best out of all the new talents. Although that being said, I haven't spec'd into any of these because I don't like being below 20% health. And attack speed is overrated. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. I usually just crit everything. So yeah, that is what me and Johnny have been up to. Johnny, as far as I know, hasn't done any game changes with his build that I know of, but we'll see. So yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to run a vault on camera because I don't feel like commentating through all of it. But that's what we've been up to for the past 2, maybe 3 months, depending on when I release this video. I just want to say thank you guys for watching this little video. I say little, it was 25 minutes long. Hopefully getting back into streams a little bit regular. I think once I hit level 90, which is coming up real quick, we'll get back into streams and stream the final 10 levels. I'm hoping to do a video where we open this thing. This is our final vault portal, and in order to open it, we need all of these. We'll see how that goes. 7 away. 7 artifacts. 11 or 10 and a half levels for me. We're almost there. And then we'll finally put the Vault Hunter series to rest. Unless that vanilla version of the mod comes out and we invite Jeffrey to the server. Then we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens then. Alright. Thank you guys for watching this quick progress update. I will see you all in the next video. Or stream. Or whatever it ends up being.